Hey everybody, this is Mandy Humphreys. I'm doing the research paper on the correlations of autism and cerebral palsy. Did you know that 1 in 59 children in the United States are diagnosed with autism? Back in 2008, it was 1 in 88, and so that's jumped to 1 in 59 now. I believe in 2012 it was 1 in 68. So every year it's progressing and becoming more and more. Of those 1 in 68 or 1 in 59 now, 40% of them, of the population of people with autism, do not speak. It's not that they don't have the cognitive ability to form thoughts and to be able to communicate, but the words will just not come out due to other underlying conditions like apraxia and things like that. Also, no one who has autism is the same. There's a saying that if you've met one person with autism, then you've just met one person with autism. There's a lot of different diagnosis. Used to, it was all kinds of types. It wasn't just autism spectrum disorder as it is now. It was, you had Asperger's at one end and you had PDD and OS at the other, which was pervasive developmental disorder, not otherwise specified. So just a big fancy word that they don't know. And the rate of diagnosis has gone up, and the diagnosis is 4 times more likely to be in boys than in girls. Many individuals with autism have underlying conditions. Autism is the symptoms are lack of eye contact, extreme preoccupation with certain objects, a difficulty seeing and empathizing with somebody if something's going on in their life, and then speech delays, an inability to understand body language, repetitive behaviors, real common. A lot of kids especially do not like loud noises, and then there's others who thrive on loud noises. So like I said, there's just they spin, they flap their arms, they rock back and forth, and then there's a lot of behavior issues that come along with autism, mostly seen in those that cannot speak the most. Those are where you get the majority of the behavior issues. But on the cerebral palsy side of that, it's 2.3 children per 1,000 are diagnosed with cerebral palsy. And there was a study done in the Developmental Medicine and Child Neurology Journal that said that of the children they studied with cerebral palsy, 7% of those that had CP had some form of autism. So that's a big correlation between those two. And there's the symptoms for cerebral palsy. That's a brain damage that happens at birth, either while they're pregnant, while they're in the womb, or during birth and shortly after. A lot of times it's due to a loss of oxygen from the brain. And that's the things that come along with cerebral palsy are basically the low muscle tone. It can be very severe to where they're stuck in a wheelchair and they can't feed themselves, and then it can be very mild where they're just walking around and they just have a little bit of abnormalities, kind of a funky gait, or maybe just a little bit trouble. They had to build muscles in their throat and had to build some extra tone in their arms and legs, but typically lead a very normal life. And then those that have cerebral palsy and autism, sometimes they can go misdiagnosed for years because there's so many similarities, and so many kids with autism also have sensory disorders, and sensory disorders can go along with almost anything. So I think I went way over on my time, but that's pretty much what I'm going to be looking into in the rest of this paper, is the correlation between the two. Thank you.